that the officer's actions, again, some of it was very racist, some of it was very sexist, some of it was conduct unbecoming, and it addressed different.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. For today's video, this is a very serious topic. This is not a video that I've been looking forward to making. This is something that I've been hoping to avoid for a very long time, but unfortunately we've gotten to a place where I believe this is unavoidable, this is something necessary, and this is something that I absolutely must do. The purpose of today's video is I'm here to announce today that I've officially contacted an attorney, and we are exploring the process to file a defamation of character lawsuit against the City of Columbus, the Inspector General of the City of Columbus Department of Public Safety, as well as two members of the Columbus Police Civilian Review Board. The reason that I am looking to file this lawsuit for defamation is because they are making statements that they know to be false on a public forum that are meant to damage my character and damage my reputation. The reason that I know that they are making false statements and that they are doing them to damage my reputation is because they conducted an investigation into me. And if you saw the introductory clip that I put on this video, this is a discussion about racism. They received an accusation about racism, and we'll go through that here in just a moment. They conducted their investigation and they found no evidence of racism on my accounts. But when they were in a public meeting discussing the investigation into my accounts, they said multiple times over that I was racist and I was posting racist things. And that goes 100% in contrary to what their actual investigation found. I guess in order to discuss defamation and discuss why I believe I have a lawsuit, the first thing that we should do is talk about the definition of defamation of character. I pulled this up here. It's from Forbes, which I believe is a reliable source. And the text, you can read it on your screen here. It says, each state establishes its own definition for defamation of character. In general, however, it occurs when a false statement is made to a third party, the statement is presented as fact, and the statement causes reputational damage. These are important factors in what is going on here, because there was, I'll go ahead and pull up the investigation now. There was an investigation into my social media accounts. The paragraph is right here that explains what caused this investigation. You know, when you're a police officer and you're on social media and you let it be known that you're a police officer, you get a lot of random attacks from people. And one of the attacks that you get from people just because you're a police officer, just for no reason other than being a police officer, is people will say that you're racist. For some reason, a bunch of those people sent my information to this guy known as That Guy Dinesh. And I've covered some of this on the channel before, but that is what spurred this on, because he made a TikTok video. He has 1.5 million followers, and he called me a racist in that video. So the crux of the investigation is here. It says the email. So there's an email from the safety director to the office of the Inspector General. It says, the following link was sent to my office as a complaint. I am sending it to you as it may fall in your jurisdiction regarding allegations of police misconduct or conduct unbecoming. Then it says the email was forwarded, or the email was forwarded by a link. That doesn't make any sense. So someone emailed a link with a video to That Guy Dinesh. The video alleges an Instagram account, Thoughts of a Patrol Officer, is racist and run by a Columbus Division of Police officer, and it has my name and badge number. So the allegation was that I run a racist Instagram account and that I'm a racist, therefore everything on my Instagram account is racist. So the Office of the Inspector General then went to try to investigate this. They didn't, and I have all the recordings of the investigation, obviously, because I was called in and interviewed for it. They told me that they did not know how to investigate this. So what they did was they had everybody in the office look at my account, and all of these like woke individuals at the office of the Inspector General looked through my account, and they each picked 4 or 5 memes or posts that they thought were offensive. So they brought all of these posts that they thought were offensive, and they hauled me in and they made me explain what I meant by every single thing that I posted on my Instagram account in the previous like 90 days. So what they did is they selected 26 different Instagram posts that they thought were potentially offensive and made me come in and talk about them. And I've got the entire investigation here, but the list of memes that they made me explain is all right here. You know, you can see all of the different stuff that they made me explain, and you know, that is what it is. But here is kind of the crux of their investigation. And this is where I can tell you that the statements being made against me are false. They know that they're false. There's absolutely no evidence to back up their statements that I'm a racist or that I run a racist Instagram account. So when you go through the actual investigation, there's an explanation for every single meme that they made me explain. And I've got two examples here because they're right next to each other, and this is very easy to demonstrate. So they numbered all of the posts that they had, and here's the one that says post number 7, which I'll show to you in a moment. It says it depicts President Joe Biden where he gave a speech with a red and black background, and the caption states, "What's next, Joe? Crystal knock?" That was the speech he gave in Philadelphia, where it was all doom and gloom and saying that basically dividing the country was my take on it. They asked me to explain what I meant behind that, and the first thing I said is, what in the world makes you think that this is a violation of any kind of policy that the department has? And the guy, Scott Hurler, the investigator, he looked at me and goes, "Well, some Jewish people might be offended by this," which is absolute bullshit. But regardless of the fact, you know, I just said, you know, I was comparing the president to a historical figure, which is Hitler, and it's important to remember the things that happened in the past so we don't repeat them in the future. So right here, this highlighted portion is the part where, you know, he took my explanation and just left it at that. The meme below that, post number 8, has a picture of a CPD cruiser with the headline, "Columbus Police Policy Change puts restrictions on serving warrants at night." And then I put the caption, "No more serving domestic violence warrants at night, guys. Let the bad guys sleep," blah, blah, blah. Then after that, this is the part that they got all offended by, is I made this comment. I said, you know, one thing that you learn as a police officer is you can't get in trouble for doing nothing. If you sit in a parking lot, avoid the public, let the criminals run loose, you won't lose your job for that. You won't get fired for that. You won't go to prison for that. This is what happens when you prioritize optics over fighting crime, which is the reason we have police officers. So they took that comment and they said, you know what? We believe that you making that comment is a violation of the department's policies. And right here, they have their explanation for that. They think that me making a comment about police officers sitting in a parking lot doing nothing, trying to stay out of trouble, violates the patrol standard operating procedures, states that to fulfill the mission, sworn personnel assigned to the patrol division shall utilize preventative directed patrol techniques to respond to calls for service. They're saying that making a comment on social media is actually a demonstration of me not doing my job while I'm at work, which is ridiculous, and that's not going to go anywhere. But I wanted to show you these two paragraphs because it shows one post that they said was a violation of policy and one that they did not believe was a violation of policy. Now, of all of the posts that they found to be that they believed were violations of policy, not a single one was race related. I can scroll down here. We'll find post number 7, the one that they made me explain. It's easy to find. Right here. This was, and it's actually kind of funny. Hopefully you guys can see this. I don't know how to blow it up. All right, it's blown up now. This is the picture of him slamming his fist. This looks like a historic representation of Hitler. I compared him to Hitler. That's why I made the post. They didn't find it to be a violation of policy. And the funny thing is, if you look at the comments, it says, I don't think most people will get that reference, but you went all historical on it. You know, Crystal Knock. If you don't know about Crystal Knock, Google it. Educate yourself. Then the next post, it's literally the very next post, it's this comment over here that they thought was a violation of policy, which like I said before, it's not a violation of any kind of policy. Just because they think it is doesn't mean it is, and this is going to go away. So here's what I did, is I went ahead and took all of the memes that they said were violations of policy. I put them in one document so we could kind of go through them all, and you can tell me if any of these posts are evidence that I am a racist or that I made any kind of racist post. The first one is something about the mayor saying, you know, this is how you make crime go down. He burns it because he's like, fuck 12. This is a meme about the mayor saying he does not support the police. This is not racist. There's no racial connotation. There's no racist context. There's absolutely nothing racial about this post. I believe it was 8 posts that they thought were violations of policy. This one right here, the comment that they thought went against policy, it doesn't. But also, there's nothing race related here. There's no mention of race. This is not racism. The next one, it's actually the same comment I basically made. Again, you don't get shot and killed if you sit in a parking lot somewhere. You only get shot and killed when you go out there and you try to help the community. Stop trying to help the community and you won't get hurt. You won't get fired. You won't go to prison. This is a clear message. Stop trying. It doesn't matter why I posted that comment. Everybody understands the meaning behind that comment, but it's not race related. There's nothing racial about it whatsoever. You can't call me a racist for making that comment. And here's their response to it. This comment goes against policy, blah, blah, blah. This one here, this is my favorite meme that I've ever posted on the internet. This is one where I have a picture of a woman sitting on the counter, and it's kind of a joke about getting caught with a woman in my house, and telling my wife, no, babe, I got a new dishwasher. Everything's fine. You know, this is not a racially sensitive post. There's nothing racial about it. Nothing about this post would lead anyone to believe that I was a racist. They thought it was a violation of policy because they thought it was sexist. They don't understand what jokes are. That's on them. The next one, stop killing black people. Go hold that sign up in the hood and then shave them armpits while you're at it, you filthy hippie. The reason that they say that this is a violation of policy is because I criticized this woman's hairy armpits. There's nothing in the policies that says I can't criticize people's hygiene, but regardless, that's what the overly sensitive person that did this investigation believed. But remember, this was an investigation into racism. There's nothing racist about making this post. There's no way that you can look at this and call me a racist. Let's see. Oh, the next one. This is making a joke about a guy wearing gloves to the gym, saying, hey, what are your pronouns? And the reason I made that joke is because men don't wear gloves in the gym. Women wear gloves in the gym. So if you look like a man, but you're wearing gloves, it makes me question, in this day and age, are you a man or a woman? And it's just a joke making fun of him for having soft hands. Let's see. What's next? Oh, this, but also, there's nothing racially related in this post whatsoever. Nobody that looked at this would come to the conclusion that I was a racist or that I was making racist posts. The next one, this is a joke about feminism and extreme feminists saying that everything is rape. The glass is half full, the glass is half empty, and this glass is being raped. It's a joke about feminists taking things to an extreme. It's not racially sensitive, not racially motivated, not racial at all. There's absolutely nothing here that would make a person believe that I was a racist or a racist person. This next one, this was a video that I can't play for you right now. I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to mess with my computer settings. This is a video where an officer was placing a man under arrest, and this arrest was being filmed by a bunch of agitators and protesters. And the officer got really nervous, and he knew that he was going to be on the internet, and he wanted to make sure he was doing the right thing. So he said, excuse me, what pronouns do you use? Do you want me to call you sir or ma'am? And the guy that he was arresting was like this fat kid with a beard, obviously was a man. And I put that clip up with a little clip from that Canadian show. I can't remember what Shoresy's in it, with the hockey coach saying, this is fucking embarrassing, I said it's embarrassing that you got so far off of your game that you couldn't tell the difference between a man and a woman when you're arresting somebody. You might not like that comment, but is it racially motivated? No, it's not racially motivated whatsoever. No intelligent person would look at that post and say, yes, this officer is a racist because he made that comment. And that's it. Those are the posts that I made. Those are the posts that they believed were outside of policy. But there was no racism there. This was their investigation. And when they were, and I've got some clips up here, when they were discussing this investigation, I'll bring it back up to the top here. This was the investigation into my Instagram account. They were at a civilian review board meeting discussing this investigation into me. Jacqueline M. Hendricks, where is her signature? Got it right here. This is Jacqueline M. Hendricks' signature signing off on the report into my Instagram account that found no evidence of racism. And she said, I agree with your investigation. When she's agreeing with this investigation, she's agreeing that there was no racism in my Instagram account. But that didn't stop her from going out publicly making statements like this.
We sustain that the officer's actions, again, some of it was very racist, some of it was very sexist, some of it was conduct unbecoming, and it addressed different.
There you go. She said some of it was very sexist, some of it was very racist. I would like to direct Jacqueline M. Hendricks to this page right here and ask her, is this your signature on this document? Did you say that you agree with the findings of the investigation? If you, because what you're saying publicly, what you're saying right here does not jive with what you're saying on this document. If you didn't agree with what was found in this document, you should have put that in your notes. You should have said, you know what? I disagree with the findings of this investigation. I believe the officer was racist, and here are the reasons why I believe the officer is racist. But she didn't say that. She said, I agree with your investigation. And then publicly, she came out and she called me a racist. One of the other members of the Civilian Review Board that I would like to name in my lawsuit, I believe it's going to be, her right here is going to be Brooke Burns. This is the chairman, the now chairman of the Civilian Review Board, and here is her making false statements about the investigation.
Yes.
There are some posts that had racial slurs,
That's
right, and other ethnic slurs as well on the page, correct?
So here's her saying, well, the officer did make racial slurs and use ethnic slurs on the page, right? She had a copy of this investigation too. She read it because Willard McIntosh, who we're going to cover here in a moment, he said he sent it out to everybody and everybody saw it. If they all read this document, they would know that there was no finding of racism anywhere in that. But that didn't stop her from running her stupid mouth, saying that there was racial slurs on the document. There were no racial slurs on document. Not only did she say that back in April, but she's still saying it now.
And if I remember correctly, the Instagram case was also one that IAB had that came to us as well. If everybody remembers that from several months ago, the Instagram that had a lot of the racist.
Yes.
And,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Instagram account that had a lot of the racist and stuff on it. No, there was no racism in my account. I did not post anything that was racist. You investigated me. You looked into my account. You made me come in and explain what I meant by everything that I posted, and you agreed at the end of the day that there was no racism. Why are these people out here publicly calling me a racist based on the investigation that cleared me of racism? The next one is going to be Willard McIntosh.
So is my understanding that as a whole, the post was considered racist?
It's my understanding that as a whole, the post was considered racist. And what he means is my account, because he's an idiot and doesn't know the difference between a specific post or an account, what Instagram is, what Instagram does, or how any of that stuff works. But he's going to go out there and say, it's my understanding that the whole thing was found to be racist, even though there was not a single finding of racism in the official report. Let's go back to the definition of defamation of character. A false statement is made to a third party. These false statements were made on a public forum in a civilian police review board. Did I say that right? Civilian review board? I don't know. The police civilian review board meeting. That's on the internet for everyone in the world to see. The statement is presented as fact. They were reviewing a document telling the world that the findings of this document were as such. So they were presenting them as fact. They weren't giving their opinion about me. They were presenting the findings in the document. If they wanted to offer their opinion and say, listen, I disagree with the findings of this report. I believe there was racism. That would be an opinion. But they didn't do that. They said, based on the investigation, the officer was found to be guilty of racism. That is 100% not true. That is a false statement. And then the statement causes reputational damage. I am a police officer. If a police officer is labeled as a racist, what effect do you think that is going to have on his career and his relationship with the public? Particularly if an officer has not done anything racist, has not done anything wrong. You can't go out and make these kind of statements against good people. You can't go out and make false statements against police officers, calling them racist. Particularly, you can't do it after you've completed an entire investigation and your investigation does not have any findings of racism. What they did is illegal. What they continue to do is illegal. This stuff cannot be allowed to continue. These people cannot be allowed to continue to say these things publicly. These statements are false. These people are public officials. They hold a position of trust. They are required to speak truthfully when making public statements, particularly public statements that are not presented as opinion. These people need to be held accountable for their actions. And I intend to do everything within my power to make sure that they are held accountable.